social media also. He's having relationship struggles at DC. His wife has had an affair. So my man like Chucky has come through my media, guys. First of all, I'll introduce myself. It's the prodigious, it's the prominent professor at Proclamation News and Gatherence. Welcome on board. We've got UK politics, we've got relationship advice, I've got interacting. I miss you too at DC. I'll be chatting with you. Just give me 5 minutes, girl. I'll be chatting to you in about 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Just going to do this how it started. A man like Chucky come through. He's had a bit of a provocation on his arising. His wife has cheated on him for 2 years. He's married. And obviously I've been through the same circumstances. And if you can't find yourself, that is going to be a problem from the off. You need to find yourself. Be independent. Be self-disciplined, self-motivated. And, you know, the only way you can get through life struggles is rise up, rise like the day I rise up, rise unafraid, and I do it 1,000 times again for you. So that is exactly it. Don't let nothing in this life bring you down. Anyway, we're going into UK politics. We're going straight into things that are going to bring you, you know, things you need to look at for in a relationship before we get into UK politics, as Chucky is in a bit of a provocation in his marriage. So if you can't be yourself with your partner, there's things to look out for, signs you need to look out for. It is not a partnership. A shocking amount of couples resign to mere arrangements, living together, finding they have fallen into a bit of a rut, playing the part of a couple to the world, while silently wanting for true partnership. Even if you're married or in a long-term relationship, you can still reinvent the relationship and create a true partnership. If you are single, then you can start from scratch. Good relationships are two people being themselves or better together. I have clients that are married and single clients. I've both received and facilitated couples counselling. From the field research that is like some tips in true blood relationships that are worth considering. Know what you want. You have to know thyself. You have to know yourself. I've been saying this from the beginning. You need to know yourself. Hadishi, me and you have a lovely chat in a minute. I miss you too, girl. Always great to talk with my social media occupants coming through. The ancient Greek aphorism, know thyself, is one of the Delphic maxims and is inscribed in the pronaos of the temple of Apollo at Delphi. According to the Greek writers of Pausanias. And why is the ancient two-word saying relevant today? Because people who need to know themselves. All too often people get all mucked up trying to control other people and circumstances outside of themselves to fulfill or be happy. Your relationship to yourself is the foundation of every relationship in your life. I mean, we all look at a relationship like the Cinderella story, things like that, you know. You're looking at these relationships, you really want this amazing wedding. It's not like the Beauty and the Beast. It's never going to be quite like that. Life is eventful, full of hurdles we have to go through. And a lot of relationships nowadays, our day and age, if I want to get a relationship now, it's going to come with baggage. You know, can you stomach it? Your relationship is yourself. It is the foundation for every relationship in your life. You need to know and honor who makes you. Yeah, you. Start free. Start there always and never stop. This does not mean obsessing over your own needs more than the needs of others, like our narcissistic rather, to know where you start and others begin, so you can actually be in a relationship. Avoid mistaking excitement for love. Passion. I can't live without you. Feeling a void when the other is not there. Is this romantic? Is this even love? Excitement is not love. Excitement is excitement. It's a heightened state that many people mistake for love. Drama and chaos can be exciting, and many people fall into a bit of a trap thinking passion and drama is love. I mean, you can understand me studying arts and humanities. I love the world. I love the whole world. So I could quite easily fall into a bit of a companionship quite easily if I did take that path. So I try not to leave my front door of my house and do my artwork, as I love artwork. I love radio casting. I'll be doing a bit of my studying's going well, Adishi. I'm not studying me. I'm just doing a bit of journalism. My studying will commence in August. Love is the thing is in between the stuff. It's always there and it's not conditional. It is not home feeling and not alone. Knowingness when you go to sleep. Love can seem boring to people, addicted to ups and downs of excitement. Know your non negotiables. How to eat, how you sleep, your preferred pastimes, how you take road trips, movies you watch or cannot stand, your things that make you need to be a type of glue in a relationship. Maybe you like love songs, you like sitting there with your partner, or you're watching, like every Sunday or Wednesday, pick a day of the week where you watch a romantic movie together, or take her to dine with you, something like that. Something that's going to be a comparison, and it's going to keep the love flux of flowing. Mine, I know smoking. I can't stand it in every possible way. A decent relationship to money, where they make their own living and fulfil their excitement by their career, treating animals well, and wanting pets. Health and fitness, a spiritual practice, no jealousy, desire to learn and grow. I do not want to have kids, so that is on there, of course. I would never dream to rob someone else of their dreams in the name of my own negotiables. I mean, imagine your relationship and your wife's got a goal, like open a supermarket or something in her surname, and then you try and nick, uh, her ideas. That's devastating, isn't it? It's going to break her dream. It's going to break your relationship. I've ended several relationships that were great in so many ways, but the non-negotiables were too big. We need to honour one another enough not to lie to ourselves or the other person that make things work. When really some people are not ideal partners, and that is okay. You can love people and on your not be with them on your life journey. Or what that's what I always say, like keep your business and your love life separate to be prosperous in your business environment. Take a relationship on board in your business is gonna make you when you have a little bit of a tip at home to make you have your negotiable skills in your office go downhill because you bring your love affair into the office. Big non-negotiables are the things that you need to deeply about yourself that you cannot compromise. Here are some other examples. Your daily routine, how you live each day, tells you who you are. How you wake up, the activities you choose, where you live, how you eat, how you flow in life. If you clash with your partner, this will be an issue every day. Family, how will you parent? How will you parent? The merging of two families or cultures are you truly compatible? Social life and hobbies. If one partner loves entertaining and fit in their weekend with experiences with friends and family, and the other would much rather rest and time alone, then how will weekends be in your world? Maybe one partner is a sports and always want their Sundays to watch a game. These types of lifestyles compatibility topics can really weigh a relationship down if not considered. Couples with different interests can have healthy relationships. What counts is that they share common goals and values. Say, like, I mean, I want to be a world star football player. She wants to be a world star netball player. We've got different directions, but we're still aiming for the same goals and the same professionality. So, thank you, Hadishi. I can be a bit of a motivational speaker. I work on progressive progression, on relationships, business advice, politics advice, giving people a right to vote. And the reason why to vote is very extraordinary and very meaningful because we all got diapers on our baby's backside. We all got food and water present, and we've got a roof overhead, and it's all to do with the UK politics and who are we voting for and why. So it's important for everyone to take on board not just some of our relationship advice, goals and gains and losses. How to get by a loss in relationship, time and forbearance, finding yourself like we've just gone through, finding yourself, know yourself. You've got to know yourself. When you're sad, how can you make yourself happy? Once you know yourself, how to get through things. I say alcoholism and narcotics is the worst thing when you're suffering a loss. It'll bring you down and it'll beat you down and take you into the ground if you let it. But don't be that fool. Bucket list goals. What does an ideal life look like? Well, these are not deal breakers. Each person in a relationship should support the other's dream life within the healthy boundaries of the relationship. swim in this clear water, in the Bodrum Marina in Turkey, seeing the pyramids while riding a camel, racing car driving, seeing Jay-Z and Beyonce Rome, or Weenie flaming in Prague. Learning a language, taking classes, having peaceful mornings, reading or jumping out of bed for a run. Living in a climate most suited to your best self living. If there are genuine things that would excite and delight you of this planet, that you have funds that are compromising to access, the only thing holding you back is your partner who doesn't want to go or doesn't want to spend the money that you are really life partners, complement each other or without compromising who you are. Sometimes opposite match, but not too opposite. A good relationship should have complementary opposites, but not constant compromises. You will lead to build a resentment from your. You need to build resentment. 2 seconds. Yeah, you need to build a resentment from your constant disappointment. I see this all the time, where you're not taught how to communicate, how to make requests for our needs to be met, or to even how to value our needs in relationship. One thing I've learned on a structured relationship, maybe your wife or your girlfriend, she's wearing a dress that you don't like, perhaps. You know, it's like colour. It's a bit too, I don't know. It's a bit of a horrific colour, or it's a bit low cut. You don't like your girlfriend looking too much like a tart, but she looks beautiful, very elegant. But always put a bad note with a nice, a nice gesture at the end. Please, I don't like that dress. It makes you look a bit tarty. But on the upvote, you look very elegant and beautiful. So always put back your argument up with something that brings it to, a good value. Always put a negative with a good value comment at the end. Always helps build structures, and it helps you build your relationship. Both, I mean, if I was to go out in a pair of Bermuda shorts, um, in the summer walking through town, I've got all these hot chicks looking at my lovely physique. It's going to upset my girlfriend, so maybe she needs to tell me too. And vice versa, you got to build your companionship together. You got to work and grow and make that work. The only instruction people get about relationships in Western society are sophisticated as a cereal box. Grow up and get married, have kids, don't divorce. I mean, being married, you've really got to work through the loyalty of the prospects of marriage. It's a big thing. You've got to make sure you're both attending church and both make sure everything's right for the pair of you. How a healthy and happy marriage, and you might think it's rich coming from me because my past and my present. I've got no relationship, I've got no wife, I've got no nothing. But I love what I'm doing. I know thyself, most definitely. There's no insert in the box with tips if you can't even have kids or don't want to parent kids. If the kid is not what the definition of normal is, if either one of you suffer a tragedy or lose yourself in the process, and on, you want a natural partner to walk this winding, unpredictable world we live in. Life will be an unpredictable, but you can be supported and uplifted by your partner in order to handle challenges together. No one will complete you. Your partner is not there to make you happy or make you whole. Return to one in this article, and if you had already forgotten about it, let's let's look at the word compatible. I mean, if you want to listen to this over from the start, please feel free to listen. Go back to my YouTube channel, play it from the beginning. Know the truth about a relationship. I'm speaking facts, things that you can work on in your relationship to occur your future being prosperous. Two things able to exist or occur together without conflict. What does it take to find a compatible partner? Not a romantic love illusion pulled from the script of a Hollywood movie. It takes a radical honesty with yourself and your partner. Two whole people make a healthy relationship. Does whole mean perfect? No. It means being honest, willing to grow, willing to communicate, courageous, and vulnerable enough to share your inner truth. Daily commitment, conscious choices, levity and play, and consistent forgiveness when you or they are messy human selves. Great partnerships are not created by perfect people and perfect ideals. Leave that to the movies. A partnership is simply two humans deciding to pair up and enjoy life together. Not to avoid being alone. Fill a void or their Sunday night plan. or to make their parents happy, but because you are being together. So you should be looking at things to work in a relationship. You want an amicable, completely reciprocated relationship. It's beneficial to subscribe, share, you know, things you need to work on in a relationship. You ain't really the best guru in the world, but true lessons. Living life to the fullest. Divine elevation. I'm happy. I'm not to make me more energized. When I need to be happy, do some artwork, do some singing, do some reading. Everything I like to do. And I pick and choose when and my philosophy. How can I marinate the audience? How can I make the audience come and eventually come back together and join me on Proclamation News and Gatherence? I do things and say things in a splendid manner to make you come back. Black, disabled, and female. I was told racism doesn't exist in 2020. You get racism, sexism, and ableism. Sprinter and cyclist Candina Cox says she's experienced racism in some form my entire life. Along with Great Britain teammate Kerr Adenigan, she is in what she's described as a small niche, a group of professional athletes dealing with range of prejudice and to get to the top of their career. The duo have been speaking to BBC's Newsbeat's Katie Smith about their time in elite sport. It's shocking, isn't it? I mean, multiculturalism. I mean, ethos is the word, sticking together as one. Whichever race, whatever culture, we breathe and live the same air. You know, this needs to be notified and needs to be rectified. It's proclamation news, we're getting the word over. I mean, we're on the back of LBC Radio. We're not ever mocking LBC Radio. They've been going for some time now. I've been going for a couple of years. I mean, I think I remember since 2015, I was doing paternalistic national news. I'm keeping the people within trust of the day-to-day regime, what we're about, what politics is about, and my singing habilitations, sending love across the nation. I don't know if any of you follow my big O. I've been singing with Philippines, been singing with Indonesia people, singing with anyone. I just love spreading the love, Proclamation News and Gatherence. We're just getting real. I mean, it's no joke. We really are a lovely, open, we're like an open book. Come in, read us, see what we're all about. We've got loads of characteristics, and we've got a lot of optimism, very flamboyant. I know sports science. I know how many vertebrae you got in your back. 7, 12, 5, 5, 4, number of vertebrae from the head to the floor. Cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacral, and coccygeal is your 7, 12, 5, 5, 4, number of vertebrae from the head to the floor. That's all your spinal segments. There you go. Anyway, we're going over to UK politics. Live record 60,000 new coronavirus cases in the US. Call for beauty salons to open in England, while hairdressers around England have reopened. Beauticians had to stand back and watch. While no reopening date yet announced, some workers think it's unfair and feel frustrated. The issue prompted MPs Caroline Harris and Judith Cummins to write to the PM. The pair highlighted the fact that the beauty industry contributed billions annually to UK GDP and employed more than 150,000 people in its service side. At the moment, it does feel like we're not seen as relevant. Jenna Woolliscroft, who runs Bella's Beauty in Stoke-on-Trent, told TV's BBC. A Department for Business, Energy and International Strategy spokesperson said beauty salons would open as soon as we are confident that are able to operate in a COVID-secure way. This is particularly important where there can be a greater risk of transmission due to the prolonged periods of face-to-face contact. Could the whole face a funding crunch after US pullout? More on the US move to start withdrawing from the World Health Organization. David Nabarro, the WHO's special envoy for COVID-19, says the US decision to leave will hit the body's finances. Dr. Nabarro is told the BBC the WHO is underfunded. Who gets its money from mandatory and voluntary contributions paid both by member states and a wide range of private bodies? The US was due to cover more than 20% of organisations' mandatory contributions in 2020, none of which has been paid. The WHO has outstanding balances from many other members of states too. As the 30th of June, it had received less than 6% of mandatory contributions for this year, but it can only be voluntary contributions that really matter, as the figures for 2018 show they made up the vast majority of WHO funding. These payments amounted to more than $2 billion in last year. The US was the biggest contributor, paying at around 12%. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation made up another 10% of voluntary funding. Voluntary contributions have become increasingly important over the years, and they could become more so as the US pull-outs. Earlier, we mentioned the announcement that dinners will get 5% discount of their restaurant bill during August in an attempt to bolster the embattled sector. Unveiling the deal, Chancellor Rishi Sunak said the UK was facing a unique moment because of COVID-19, adding, "We need to be creative." Pubs and restaurants reopened on Saturday after more than 3 months in lockdown. The new deal means people can get up to 10% of their 10% off per head if they eat out between Monday and Wednesday in August. The discount will not apply to the discount will not apply to alcohol, but to food and soft drinks up to £10 per person. The Confederation of British Industry welcomed the announcement, adding that restaurants and pubs have been especially hit by lockdown. Targeted support to divine demand will help keep people in jobs and business alive. Boris Johnson told Prime Minister's questions earlier the one thing that nobody knew earlier during the pandemic was that the virus has been passed systematically from person to person. The PM made the claim, being accused of trying to shift the blame for coronavirus deaths onto care homes. But a question of the symptomatic transmission had actually been a concern since the very beginning of the pandemic. Chinese officials were talking about it on the 26th of January, and I reported it at the time. This was big news, as it immediately meant coronavirus was much harder to obtain. The documents for the UK's government's own site advisors on the 4th of July stated the asymptomatic transmission cannot be ruled out. There are still uncertainties, as it is harder to study how the virus spreads when people are not obviously sick. And there are very likely differences between people who are pre-symptomatic, infected and still healthy, about to become ill. Symptomatic, technically ill, but with symptoms so mild they may think they're fine. And some true asymptomatic people have the virus but will never become ill. Two prestigious universities in the US are taking legal action against the government over the immigration rule that they will force international students to leave their country. Under the rule introduced to the Trump administration, foreign students will be barred from staying in their country if their colleagues don't hold in-person classes. Autumn, much universities teaching and shifting online during the pandemic. Harvard, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, two of the highest ranking universities in the world, have now asked the federal court to block the rule. Harvard President Lawrence Dabacco said in an email to the Harvard community, "We will pursue the case vigorously so that the international students at institutions across the country can continue their studies without the threat of deportation." I need choke then, my goodness. Did you see that? Did you hear that? I'll be with you a minute, Hadisi. I've got about no. You know, we put diapers in our babies. We've got electric lights on our house. We've got a roof overhead. You've got food on a plate. Exactly why you support the government. Listening to the politics, see what it's about. Politics is part of everyone's
everyday life of everyone. We've got to give, the politicians a pat on the back to dividing the laws correctly in the correct mannerism. Coronavirus Conservative Party conference goes virtual. Coronavirus Party's annual conference will be held online this year due to coronavirus pandemic. The gathering of party's members was due to take place in Bern in October. In a letter to members, the party chairman Amanda Milling said she hoped some events would go ahead if allowed on government guidelines. The Labour Party announced in May that its September conference would move online. The Liberal Democrats have also cancelled their gatherings in favour of the online event, and the SNP said its large-scale events would go online with details announced soon. In her letter, Miss Milling said many would be disappointed not to be able to physically attend the conference, which is a highlight of the political calendar. But she said the party's first priority was the health and safety of the people attending conference. Any events that do take place will be held following the strictest safety guidelines. Members who have bought conference passes already have been contacted with instruction due course. She said, details of virtual conference will be announced shortly. Miss Millen added, with a full agenda available in early September, the thousands of activists, politicians, journalists and lobbyists normally attend the party conference to debate policy and socialise, and the events are a major source of revenue for the main parties. Absolute populism, guys. Absolute populism. Proclamation news and gatherance. We're up there with LBC Radio at long last. We're not taking over LBC because they are jam-packed speakers. James O'Brien, Nick Vandermeer is going to be able to take over. Doesn't matter how much habilitations I've got. If I can sing songs or rap songs about them, we've all seen them. We've all seen me making the fun, having a joke. But I do like LBC Radio. You can't take that away from them. They've inspired me for me to become what I've become today. Why would you sign up with? Why would you sign up for? What's the name? Why would you sign up for Conservative? Why did you sign up for Conservatives? I think it's about £25 a year, £25 to £35 a year. Did you go live, Lee? You should send an inbox when you go live, girl. I'll tell you on purpose. Often to do more for God than I did yesterday. I missed it. What was you doing? Was you singing as well, Lisa? I can't believe I missed you live. Ever so sorry. Yeah, for under 26 years of age, it's £5 a year to sign up for Conservative Party. Standard party membership and all the associated benefits is offered at a special £5 rate to those aged under 26. Standard rate is £25 a year. Members play an active role in the party, can attend our annual conference and receiving voting rights for party elections. After 3 months of membership, all for £25 a year or just £2.09 a month. It's very important to vote, guys. It really makes more sense and sends itself. But because of our government, our politicians, they've divided us all with a substantial amount of money to live on a month, and you can feed your babies, you can feed yourself, you can get a roof over your head, you're still happy, and you're still smiling. Obviously, they don't pay for extra benefits. A lot of you suffering alcoholism and narcotic abuse, but they're keeping you fed, watered, bread on the table. We should really give them the time of day and a bit of encouragement for what they're doing. Absolutely working wonders for our global crisis at the moment, this pandemic influenza. Anyway, Armed Forces is £15 a year to sign up. If you're in the Armed Force, £15 a year to sign up for Conservatives today. What does your membership get you? It helps you, Conservative win elections. As you can see on Conservative, my 1945 Winston Churchill flag on my speaker. Yes, absolutely. That's when I've been Conservative since my granddad was in World War II under Winston Churchill. That's why I've got Winston Churchill 1945. My granddad Thomas was a amphibious driver in the World War II. Choose candidates and vote in leadership elections. Take part in our campaign groups. Come to conference. Stand for an election. Maybe you want to be elected. You want to be elected. Connect with local Conservatives. Influence party policy. Get the latest from inside the party. I will stand for election very, very soon, but not until I get my degree. I'm not even halfway there. I'm a quarter of the way there. We can look at the terms and conditions. Political Party Elections and Referendums Act 2000. Under the Political Parties Elections and Referendum Act 2000, you must be an electoral register in the UK, excluding the Channel Islands and Isle of Man, in order to make a donation of more than £500. If you donate more than 7,500 to the party or 1,500 to an individual association over a calendar year, we're obliged under Political Parties Election at Referendum Act 2000 to report such a donation to the Electoral Commission, who will publish, in fact, that you made a donation totaling over those amounts. For more information, please see Electoral Commission. Conservative Party reserves the right to not accept a donation or an application for the membership. Application for membership to Conservative Party is subject to review by the party and the constituent association before the final approval. Final approval of the online or central applications or non-approval will be communicated to the applicant in writing as soon as possible as the application remains. Applications will not be considered where the application is a member under suspension or the former member currently expelled from the party. Join the Conservative Party, guys. It's very, very beneficial. Is that your dream from overseas? You're all waiting for me to go and chat with them. I'm so overwhelmed, guys, that you're listening. Give me a bit of encouragement, acknowledgement. It's the main thing with absolute populism on the cast YouTube, and we're also big people coming on board. That's what we like to see. Anyway, going back to UK politics, Chancellor Rishi Sunak cuts VAT and emergency plans to save jobs, keeping us on track. Chancellor Rishi Sunak is to cut VAT on hospitality as part of the £30 billion plan to prevent mass unemployment and economic hit by the coronavirus. The government will also pay firms a 1,000 bonus for every staff member kept on a 3 months, and even when the furlough schemes ended in October. And Mr. Sunak announced a scheme to give 50% of the people during out the coronavirus, during out in August. The Chancellor warned the hardship is lies ahead, but vowed no one will be left without hope in his statement of MPs. He rejected calls to extend the furlough scheme beyond October, saying it would give people false hope. They will not have a job to return to. But he said he would never accept unemployment as an inevitable outcome of the pandemic. Details of how the package will be paid for through borrowing and possible tax rises, and likely to be unveiled in the Chancellor's autumn budget. Decent work. The job retention bonus could cost as much as £9.4 billion if every furloughed worker is brought back. Explaining how it worked, the Chancellor said, if you're an employer and you bring back someone who was furloughed and continues to employ them through to January, we will pay you 1,000 bonus per employee. It's vital people aren't returning for the sake of it. They need to be doing decent work. So for businesses to get the bonus, or the employee must be paid at least £520 average in each month of November to the end of January, the equivalent of low earnings in the national insurance. He's told MPs will have a cut VAT on food, accommodation, and attraction from 20% to 5% from next Tuesday. What is VAT and how is it included? This cut will apply to eat or hot takeaway food and non-alcoholic drinks from restaurants, cafes, pubs, accommodation, hotels, B&Bs, campsites and caravan sites, attractions like cinemas, these parks and zoos. Rishi Sunak said 4 billion catalysts would help protect over 2.4 billion jobs. Mr. Sunak also announced an eat out to help out discount, which he said had helped protect 1.8 billion jobs at a cost of 0.5 billion. Meals eaten at participating businesses on Monday to Wednesday will be 50% in August, up to a maximum discount, and can go through a website which will open next Monday. Business you need to register and do so from some website will open next Monday. Stamp duty holiday. The Chancellor announced 2.1 billion Kickstarter scheme to create more jobs to young people. The fund will subsidise 6-month work placements for people on universal credit in ages between 16 to 24 who are at risk in long-term unemployment. Mr. Sunak also announced a temporary stamp on duty holiday costing 3.8 billion to stimulate the property market. This would exempt the first 500,000 of all property sales and tax. The charter outlined a number of other measures in the build-up to statement, including vouchers up to 5,000 for energy-saving home improvements as part of the wider 3 billion plan to cut emissions. They pledged to provide 30,000 new traineeships for the new people in England, giving firms 1,000 for each new work experience later. In place, they offer 1.6 billion package of loans and grants for the arts of the heritage sector. The doubling of front staff job centres, as well as 32 million for recruiting extra carers, advisors, and 17 million for work academics in England. Employees will not have to pay any tax on coronavirus swab tests provided for their staff. Labour's shadow chancellor, Annalise Dodds, said the Chancellor should keep their furlough scheme going in certain sectors. Record of unemployment, she told MPs. We need a strategy for the scheme to become more flexible so it can support those businesses forced to close again because of additional localised lockdowns. There is still time to avoid additional floods and redundancy notice. It is the government's duty to help Britain through this. He said the unemployment claimant count, who is on course to top 3 million people in June, the highest number since the previous record in 1986. Some 9.3 million workers are having 80% of their salaries paid by their government, up to 2,500 a month. Under the furlough scheme, which is originally due to end in July, before being extended to October with employment contributions. From August, employers must pay national insurance and pension contributions, then rise 10% of the pay in September, rising to 20% in October. Analysts from BBC told correspondent Nick Eardley, who would use the big invention of the government in recent months. This is another set of expensive commitments from the Treasury, but there's one overriding aim to stop massive increases in employment in the coming months. The Charter is hoping to job retention bonus to persuade the employees to keep people on their books. Be me 2 minutes, Vibes. I've got 2 minutes speaking. I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for coming through. I'm going to chat with you 2 minutes. I'll be all yours. I've got 2 minutes reading. I'm straight on with you. The Charter is hoping a job retention bonus will persuade employees to keep people on their books, and it hopes other schemes announced with their will either create new jobs or give a boost to the sectors which are slowly emerging from lockdown, such as slashing VAT in the hospitality industry. There was a lot of focus on young people too. The Treasury is worried about because many young people in the work sectors will be the hardest hit. Thank you so much for the love, girl. Will it be enough? Some say not and want the government to guarantee more jobs longer in the hardest sectors. But ministers hope that it will go a long way stopping the rise in unemployment that may, in many Westminster, fear. Some of you guys that have been here from the start, I've been doing motivational speech about relationship advice. So if you want my YouTube, which I can put on there, you can watch and subscribe and see me on YouTube live. So here's my YouTube account live. If you want to come check me out live, I do this sometimes daily, sometimes weekly. I'm on Castbox as well. We're building a great gathering. Please become a favourite and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share with your friends, share with your Facebook, share with your Instagram, share with your Snapchat friends, your WhatsApp friends. We're becoming absolute populism. Proclamation news and gatherings with the prodigious, the prominent professor. I was talking to a guy coming through earlier, Chucky, his name was. He was with a married for 3 years. His wife has cheated on him, left him. And I said, I sung a little song, give people a little bit of a memo to walk away with, to think, yeah, I've got to find myself. I need to find myself again, find my feet. Time and forbearance is the only way, the only cure you can get through any danger in life. The lost parent, lost cat, lost dog. Time and forbearance is the only cure. The only cure, not narcotics or alcoholism, because that builds your hole to stick yourself in the end. My YouTube channel is, I'll put the link on my thing just above your comment. I really appreciate if you could subscribe. I've got some of my singing on there, some of my rap songs. I've got a lot of my political agenda on there. I've got my UK politics page. Whatever you want to look through, search it. I've got more motivational speeches on there.